Good morning, everybody. Let's see. Okay, hello. I am in a different space because we're gonna do legs at the wall today for prenatal yoga. It's Mama Nurture Monday, and the space in the other room just wasn't working. So give me just a moment here to adjust a couple of things. Still a really big shadow. Yeah, I don't think there's anything I can do about that. So we will try make this work. So Viparita Karani, legs at the wall, so good for prenatal yoga. We love it because it helps reduce swelling in the feet, legs, and ankles. It can be really good for restless leg. It helps improve circulation because you're just getting, it's sort of a form of inversion. And it's really calming. It's a great way to start or end the class. So I'll show you several different options here, and I hope that you can see okay given this setup. So just the normal would be, and I'll just go through these options, to sit close to the wall. And if there's if they're further along in pregnancy, so you just kind of have to adjust for that, because sitting really close to the wall might be more difficult. You could have them have their legs apart a little too when they sit here. And then no really graceful way to get here, except just to lean back, and as you're leaning back, send the legs up. And start with knees bent maybe, and move closer to the wall. And then from here, we have, this is just basic legs up the wall. We'll look at options in a moment for elevating the back and not having the prenatal student on their back for a long time. But this is basic. And then another thing that can feel really good is to take the legs into a wide leg straddle. And that is really nice. It is a great stretch for the hamstrings. And sometimes I just have them take their hands right here and just kind of work into that muscle a little bit, and maybe even the tops of the thighs, because the legs do a lot of work for mom and baby. So, and they may be here. You could also support here with bolsters to keep the legs up if letting gravity work is creating too much of a stretch here. And then bringing the legs back together, I like to have them use their hands. And then you could also do just bent knees. Take the feet apart, make room for baby. And this is also a modified squat or frog, but you could have them here if that feels better. Another thing is to bring knees together and then soles of the feet together, knees apart, for any version of reclined bound angle or Baddha Konasana that feels good. Sometimes I like to put a block here just to stop the feet, and then rest here. So these are all great options. And let's see. So if you have students who, because we don't want to keep them up flat on their back for a really long time, but early in pregnancy it can feel really good. Even flat on the back, sometimes it's nice to roll up a blanket and put it under the neck. So you want to look for neck neutrality. So if someone's lying down, I'm not going to show you because I can tell in the view that you may not be able to see what's on the floor very well, but I can show you here. So if someone is lying down and their neck, actually I'll just show you sitting, and their neck's kind of doing this rather than being long and neutral, then providing something under the head can be really nice. And you can just have the blanket and just have it like right here. Just this part of the blanket, or you can roll it up and put this behind the neck, and I'll show you that in a moment. So another way to do this is to build the ramp. You want to have it a little bit further away from the wall, maybe, especially when they're trying to get in it. And then same thing, just going to have them take up one leg at a time here. And then being further away from the wall helps because obviously this is pushing their chest closer. So let me move it back just a little. Okay, you could even make this a lower ramp if it felt okay. It just really depends on what they're feeling in the chest and how much baby is pushing up on the internal organs and impacting the ability to breathe. But we can do all of those same options here. And with the blanket, you can just go here. You can roll it up like that so they can really rest, or you can flatten it out and that might be enough. And then you can do all the different leg options here. Another one that might be nice, because sometimes being on their back like that, even if they're elevated, it just doesn't feel good, or maybe it makes them feel nauseous or queasy or something. Then you could do this on the side. You just do one leg at a time. So you would lie down. You could have them lie close to the edge so that this shoulder isn't kind of feeling funky. And then knees are bent here, and just take one leg up, but stay on the side. And then they would have these options here, and then you would do the other side. And then one more that I have for you would be legs to a chair or the couch. Just drag my chair over here. Show you from this direction. So chair. This is so great for them to do at home. So they get into it the same way. And then just legs are here. And then same thing, roll up a blanket, put it under the neck, whatever feels good. And then just let them rest and breathe. If they're flat on their back, you just have to constantly check in and see what feels okay. Because once you get someone into a comfortable version of this, you want to keep them there for a while, or a little while, I'd say 10 rounds of breath, up to, a couple of minutes, a few minutes, just depending on what setup you have them in. And this is when it's really important to just check in with them. If you haven't heard, Shannon and I are doing a live webinar on prenatal cautioned and contraindicated postures. I can't tell you how helpful this is. I have had so many teachers, especially newer teachers, but even just teachers who've never really had a prenatal population and then suddenly they do, that this is just kind of all in a nutshell. So whether you're going to teach a prenatal class or you have prenatal students coming to class, so helpful. I cannot stress enough. So show up. It's September 16th, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. And we would love to have you. Comment below if you have any questions. If you have an option of legs up the wall that I did not show today, please share that as well. Have a lovely Monday, Mama Nurture Yoga teachers, and I will see you soon.